Howdy ho, my peeps. It has been a little minute since I came to give you an update. I got this little microphone thing. I'm not wearing it because I forget everything. It's in the house somewhere. Anyway, I hope you can hear me. Since I uploaded my last video, I've done a lot of little snippets of things I've been doing, cleaning the Airstream, working in Grant's office, dealing with our water problem. In fact, I don't even think I've mentioned the water problem yet. Our water pump went out, and our well pump, I mean, and so we need to have that replaced. In the meantime, we are without water here. Luckily, we have a 200-gallon tote that we can take up to the store property and fill that up and bring it home on the back of a trailer. But it's like I'm living in a catch-22. Okay, so I've got the water on the back of the trailer. Yay! I get it home, but I've got to move solar panels from where they are to a different spot because where they are is in the way of bringing in a temporary water tank that we can have filled. So I go to where I think they need to be, but oh, lo and behold, it's full of crap. So Grant and I start going through all of that and separating out the stuff that that we can throw out and things that need to go into the container and blah, blah, blah. But we keep getting caught up in the minutia. For example, one of the things that Grant needed to do was move. He's got all this freeze-dried survivalist food that he's had for, some of it for at least 30 years. I mean, it's been around a while. So whatever, move that into the container. But there were about 10 of the big number 10 cans that had various things in it. Textured vegetable protein, powdered eggs, powdered milk, oats. And they were rusting through. So we decided that we're going to open them up, see if they were still intact on the inside. If so, then the oats are going to go to the chickens, and I was going to mix up the eggs and the milk and the textured vegetable protein, and I can make a slurry of that to go to augment the barn cats' food. All right, so now I'm now 3 or 4 jobs removed from the thing that I started out to do in the beginning. So instead of giving you big updates about everything right now, I just want to talk to you about the magnitude of what I am trying to accomplish. If I were just trying to clean my house, transport enough water to keep us watered, and maybe take care of the Airstream, which is where I'm sitting right now, that would be a big chunk of things to do, but doable, right? But the list of stuff just piles up. It's piling up so deeply. And so I'm just going to stream of consciousness relate to you what's in my mind about what I have to do. Okie dokie. Finish Grant's office. Needs more cleaning, more sorting. I've done all the painting. Then I need to get into my room that's like a music room. Everything needs to be vacuumed. I need to bring the carpet back in, which I have cleaned already. Put everything where it belongs. Pull the stuff out of both of those rooms that really does not belong inside. That has to be sorted, categorized, put into where it belongs in storage. All right, I've got oak branches up above this Airstream. They have to be cut down. I have to drag them to a location where I can go through and limb out the burnable pieces and then leave all the brush for my second or third burn pile that we're going to have to take care of this year, because we have so much hazardous natural material that we have cleared out of this place the past year. And that stuff is, they have designated burn days when you can, you know, take care of that kind of thing. And that's all for fire suppression. And I have tons of wood lying around. Luckily, I have a brand new chainsaw, and all of that needs to be cut up. And then I have to figure out, well, where am I going to put it? Because our wood pile is getting pretty well full. So I'm thinking about, well, shoot, this winter when we're sitting around having a fire outside, which I really want to do again. I used to do that every winter. Where do I want that? Do I want to do it in the inside of my backyard? Do I want to do it up in the upper garden on my brick patio? Do I want to do it up here by the Airstream? Do I want to do it down there by the creek? Where do I want to set that up? And that's where I'm going to stage a bunch of firewood. I may actually have more than one location because I have more than one fire pit. My fire pits are the metal drums with all the holes in them that come out of old washers. I think I've got 3 that 2 are here and one's at the store. 3 that I've used over the years. So I think I'll set up 2 of them. One in my backyard proper, so it's a simple walk out the front door, sit in the rocking chair with the dog on my lap, and have a fire in the evening. And then another one I think probably will be up in the upper garden on those big brick patios that I made, in case I have the neighbors over to just come and hang out and toast weenies and, you know, discuss the state of the world or whatever. Okay, so I've got all that going on. House is a wreck, is a mess. Everything needs to be cleaned. I need to steam clean all of my floors. I need to vacuum everything. It's cobweb central, all of that kind of stuff. I am keeping up with dishes though, because we are very, very careful not to use many of them daily. Lots of disposable plates and that kind of thing. And we reuse the disposable plates because we're such misers when it comes to that kind of thing. So I don't have piles of dirty dishes, which is awesome when you don't have water. Keeping up with the toilet flushing, that's, you know, that requires a big old 3-gallon or 4-gallon container a couple of times a day to make sure that that stays all nice and orderly. Showers and baths, who knows? The last bath I took was 3 days ago, and it was up at the store in the apartment there. I don't think Grant's taken a shower since before he got back from Idaho. We're changing clothes and, you know, taking the washcloth and doing the hooker bath in the sink, but that's not the same thing as a shower or a bath. So trying to keep up with that is difficult. Keeping up with the laundry has been difficult. I'm going through so many cleaning rags, and my t-shirts get filthy every day. I can't wear them, you know, for 3 days like I can when I'm not doing this heavy, dirty work. My golf cart is having trouble with charging, so we have to set up some sort of a system where we can charge it off solar and bypass the chip that's in the golf cart, because that seems to be the problem, and they don't make those anymore. So we have to figure out an alternate way to keep my golf cart charged. Those are just the things that came to mind immediately. I mean, there's so many other things. Oh, building my greenhouse, building my garden house, setting up an area somewhere where I can have my stair climber and some of my other exercise equipment for when winter gets here and I'm not going to be out working in the yard doing my exercise. My house is too small, really, to have that kind of big equipment. I just don't know where I would put it. I want to clear off the front porch. I haven't cleaned that this summer, which I normally clean once a summer. You know the drill. I don't need to go on. You guys can fill in the blanks. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. Now, physically, I'm up to the challenge. I've noticed that I've lost a lot of strength in my hands this summer. Not sure what's going on there. but basically like my core strength, my legs, my arms are all in pretty good shape. I can rise to the challenge of doing most of this kind of stuff. But my biggest problem let's talk about my mind. My mind is pretty darn good at it too. I'm multitasking for the first time in a while, and I'm getting better at it. I'm better able to keep all the different lines of things that need to be done, first, second, third, sort of figured out. Anything that's time sensitive, I'm pretty good at keeping that at the forefront, getting that taken care of. Luckily, the next few days through the weekend anyway, nothing is time sensitive. I can just point my nose at the direction of whatever project happens to be in my line of sight and do it. For example, yesterday I sat out there by, oh, my knee hurts. I've got my legs stretched out. Sat out there by my cart and I opened up those number 10 cans. But I don't have like a really good can opener that opens them. My can openers are old and dull. So what I did, do I even have it handy? Probably not. I got out my my multi-tool, my Leatherman type tool, and it has one of those little Boy Scout sort of can openers. Just stick it in and you go all the way around the rim. That's how I opened 10 number 10 cans of food yesterday. That took a long time. I mean, and once I got them open, then I had to go find a container to mix up all the cat stuff in. And that took a while wandering around because all our containers are full of water, right? And then I had to figure out, okay, so what about the oats for the chickens? Where am I going to put those? I finally figured out I had a clean garbage can with a lid. I staged that over where I feed the chickens, so that got handled. So my mind's doing okay, my body's doing okay. Here's my biggest problem. My biggest problem is time. All of this stuff just takes so much time. Even if you're moving at a fast clip and you're getting things accomplished, it seems like it's taking forever. Even though I'll look around and say, oh yeah, we cut down those trees. Oh yeah, we stacked that thing. Oh yeah, we moved the water to the to a different location. Oh yeah, we've already taken a load to the dump. I can look and see all this stuff, but when you're in it, you just don't see it as well. So, I need to eat. I haven't eaten yet this morning. It's about noonish, maybe. Well, maybe 11:30. I'm eating almonds for breakfast. Okay. So I'm feeling overwhelmed, anxious, because I feel like this stuff is very important. And then getting everything clean and organized, all the crap off my property that does not belong here, kind of battening down my hatches, mending my fences, doing all that sort of stuff. It's like I feel as if I'm on a ship and I see a rogue wave and it's headed directly toward me. So I'm scrambling to tie everything down, to make sure anything that can go off the ship is not outside, that it's inside, to find a place for me to hold on to when I get swept away by this thing. I'm trying to head the nose of my ship into that wave the way you're supposed to and keep it there while I'm doing all this other stuff. And I have to run back to the rudder and I have to put myself back in position so that I'm heading toward the wave. Maybe this is election derangement syndrome. I don't know. I think that has a lot to do with it. I think I gotta eat while I talk. Sorry. Maybe turning 65 next month, it's a real milestone. And it's a milestone that is, for all intents and purposes, the end of something. Yeah, it's the beginning of some other things. Cronehood, which is a real good place to be. I like being a crone. I like being postmenopausal, post-hysterectomy. I'm glad to leave my babehood in my rearview mirror. That was such a burden. And you might look at me and say, well, you know, I'm sure your babehood wasn't that much of an issue. Well, it was actually. Some about boys, they just really, really liked me. And so I had the burden of maneuvering through that whole minefield. I'm expecting, with my newfound energy, my lighter self, and in my more active self, I'm anticipating, barring any horrible things that I don't know are ahead of me health-wise, I'm anticipating the next 10 years is going to be a good 10 years, from 65 to 75. Of course, it'll slow down as I get towards 75. But I think that in that amount of time, I should continue to be able to drive, take trips to the coast, or to see my friends here in California, maybe do 1 or 2 epic trips across the United States and back. Continue to, you know, work during the day, rest a little bit, then have energy for, you know, going to hear a lecture at the library, going to dinner with friends, or, you know, going to the lake and sitting on the sand with my neighbor and his girlfriend, or whatever, you know. Still have an active social life, an active mental life of acquiring information. All of that. I think the next 10 years are going to be good. You know, God willing, I live that long. And then after that, I want to be in a position where I can stay in my own home as long as possible. No stairs, no heavy work that is a requirement of my daily living, you know, activities. All of that kind of stuff. I just want to be tucked up, nice and snug in my own place, with enough resources to pick up the phone and call the neighbor boy or some service to come and do my weed eating at the end of the spring, or, you know, somebody come clean out the flue in my my wood stove, someone to come service the swamp cooler. I mean, as long as Grant's not doing this stuff. I mean, if Grant's still with me, he's going to be, if I'm 75, he'll be 85, and probably still on his feet doing all that stuff, because he is a freak of nature. He is slowing down, but he's slowing down now the way most guys slow down around 47. You know, they're sort of, they're beginning to realize they're not invincible, and they will slow down. Well, that's about where Grant is right now. So, freak of nature, he'll probably still be around doing this stuff. But on the off chance that he isn't, God willing, that doesn't happen. But if I do find myself alone in my truly, truly elder years, I want to be able to stay here. However, I know that I may be anticipating something more like my mom went through, finding a 1-bedroom or even a studio apartment, maybe something in assisted living. Who knows what I'm going to need. But I am looking toward those years. I'm trying to prepare now. And it feels to me like the first stage of preparation is to clear up my environment as it exists today. Say goodbye to the projects that I always thought I was going to do in the future, and now I look at them and either they're out of style or they don't interest me anymore. Or even if they're coolio, I might make the stuff and it's like, what am I going to do with it? I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to put it up in my house. I don't know anybody to give it to. Yeah, I could try to sell it at a yard sale or at a craft show or on Etsy, or even open my store and try and sell it there. But the truth of the matter is, if I had a bunch of stuff made and put it in my store, it would just be window dressing. I don't think anybody would come in and buy my handmade crap, or at least much of it. It would just be, you go in, oh, look at all this neat stuff. Oh, and they also sell coffee. Can I have a coffee? Kind of deal. That's sort of what I anticipate. However, there is one thing I still want to do vis-a-vis the store. I really want to do craft classes and workshops. I want to come up with some, you know, relatively trendy, modern, trendy, modern, God, that's spoken like such a boomer, projects that I can get women from 35 to 65, somewhere, people in that age range, who would want to come do the thing, whatever it is. And that way I can get rid of a bunch of materials and teach, which I love to do, adults anyway, and you know, kind of cycle through this stuff and have the satisfaction of having done the thing, having made the thing, because that has not stopped for me. That has not diminished one bit. I still love to make stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I've got a 2-year plan to get me from today to cleaned up, organized life, finished garden structures, no extraneous junk lying around my place or my store property, coming into the store regularly, having my open hours, doing my craft workshops, and probably selling some consumable like coffee, or coffee and sugar-free baked goods, or some weird thing like that. I've also thought about doing shave ice in the summer times there. Shave ice is pretty good business, especially up here, especially on the way to recreation areas. So that's a consideration. All right. So there you go. That concludes my little rant about life. There's so much I have left out. I haven't talked to you about my friend who had the stroke. The guy was helping, I wasn't taking care of him, but I was sort of bridging the gap, because he'd gotten to the point where he, you know, couldn't move about his house very well and all that. He ended up having a stroke, and now we can't find him. His brother and I have been calling around trying to, where is he? He's not at the hospital where he was supposed to be. He's not at the previous hospital. So his brother's trying to track him down. God willing, he's not in the morgue or something horrible like that. Well, yeah, it would be horrible, just in general. But knowing this guy the way I know him, if life means being in a bed or in a wheelchair and unable to have any autonomy, oh, he'd rather go. And if that's the case, then there would be a blessing in that. But I hope it isn't, because I want to see him again. I want to sit down and shoot the shit like we always used to. So there's that. I haven't seen much of my grandson recently. My son and his girlfriend, baby mama, and fiance, I'm not really sure. They have been super, super busy doing other things. A lot of traveling. So they haven't even been in town. So, you know, I'm sort of on the fence with my grandson. It's like, I don't know how much to allow myself to get attached to him, because I don't know how much I'm going to be able to see him as time goes on. And, you know, I get attached easily. I'm attached to the horses, for crying out loud, that aren't even here anymore. They've gone home because I don't have the water to give them. Dude across the street who owns them doesn't have any water to give him. I don't know where he's getting the water. So, I mean, I cried for 2 days after they went home. And they're just across the street. I can get on my, and I did, got on my, my golf cart and grabbed a bag of apples from the food bank, and I'm went on over there and I gave him apples and we talked and I kissed him, and you know, it's not like they're gone, but I miss taking care of them. I miss knowing that they're fed twice a day, as much as they need to eat, that they have plenty of water, and that they have plenty of attention. I miss knowing that. Also, I mean, I haven't been able to get a hold of my neighbor to like doubly make sure this is okay, but I don't like going onto somebody else's property if I haven't had a recently updated express consent. And because I don't, you know, that's a fine line to walk with people. And so as soon as I can get a hold of him and, you know, make sure, okay, is it okay if I go over and feed him? Is that all right with you still? Or if not, that's cool too, whatever. I'll feel better when we have that conversation. Grant had a great time in Idaho. I don't know when he is going to go to Nebraska to see his kids, because he still has this car that needs, you know, stuff under the hood. It needs this and that replaced. It needs a boot on the axle, so he's just going to put on new axles, blah, blah, blah. So who knows how long all that'll take, because Grant's scrambling, trying to deal with the daily stuff we're dealing with. So he's as busy as I am. So I think I'm going to upload a video. I'm going to upload 2 today. I'm going to upload this one, and then I'm going to upload a video with no spoken word. All it is my neighbor with his backhoe coming over to lift our water up off the trailer and put it in in where it's going to be its permanent location. And I'm going to upload it because it's a video that little boys would like, you know, 3-year-old or 4-year-old kids, or even probably 2, maybe girls too, probably, just watching that machine do its thing and listening to the rumble. I found it mesmerizing. You will find it boring, so click past it. But yeah, so I'm going to upload that too. And send a link to my neighbor who did the work, so he can, you know, he can know how much I appreciate him. So I think I'm going to sit here a while longer. I'm going to finish these. I'm going to do some more spraying and wiping of the walls, some more vacuuming, that kind of thing. I'll probably spend another maybe hour out here, and then it's to the back 40 with my rake and my pitchfork, and I'm going to start cleaning up the thatched pasture grass that is back there lying everywhere, and it's this thick. And I'm going to put it on a tarp, and I'm going to drag it across the street to the cows. So I'm going to do that. And that actually has 2 purposes, because once I clean an area, then Grant and I will have a place to put, to stage all the stuff that needs to go onto the trailer and be drugged to the dump. So I got a lot of stuff to do. I hope you guys are all having a great day or evening whenever it is that you see this. And I will come back with more information and probably more pointed updates as they exist today about all that junk that I shot video of and never uploaded, and now it's all obsolete information. All right, so I always hate to say goodbye to you guys. Isn't that weird? I hate to say goodbye because I like sitting here and talking to you. It feels like I'm talking with you. All right, love you all. Bye.